what is an object, now we are going to create an object. Object is a instance of a class. We cannot execute class directly. We cannot execute the class directly. When you create a class, it's only a template. When you create a class, it is only a template. If you want class to execute, we need to create an object. Object is nothing but an instance. Like I told, student. Now, student has a last name, first name, phone, email, eat, sleep, fight. I have list of action. Now, which student is he? Every student will have this. Now, whom I am referring to? Student will have this information. Okay, right now, whom are you referring to? So I have to say, first student, his name, his age, his salary, okay, his branch, what he can do. Second student, name, age, branch, what he can do. So I have to refer to one particular student. Every student will have this data. Okay, right now, whom are you referring to? Every student will have the same information. Right now, whom are you referring to? So we need to create an instance of a class. Now, when you are trying to go for an instance of a class, we'll understand two major points here. The first major point is, what is a reference variable? What is a primitive variable? What is a reference variable? What is a primitive variable? Now, what is a primitive variable? What is a reference variable? I got it here. So I have taken here so these are the variables. Now the point here is, any variable created with the data type with a primitive data type, any variable created with a primitive data type is a primitive variable. Any variable created with a primitive data type is a primitive variable. Any variable created with non-primitive data type is a reference variable. Now, what was that? Any variable created with a primitive data type is a primitive variable. Any variable created with non-primitive data type is a reference variable. I hope you got my point. Now, tell me, what are the primitive data types we have? Tell me, what are the primitive data types we have? Integer, long, double,
Integer.
decimal, boolean, blob, okay, string, ID, object, date, datetime, ID, datetime and time. Now here, integer. What type of data type is this? Now variable is age. What type of variable is this? Primitive. Why primitive variable? Because the data type of the age is primitive, so variable becomes primitive variable. Name. So we have what type of data type is this? Primitive. Now, what is the variable? Age. Variable is name. Now the variable is primitive variable. Salary. This one. Salary. Primitive variable. Example. Is it a primitive data type? Example is not a primitive data type. E is a reference variable. Student STD. Student is not. Account ACC. Account. ACC. Contact. Is it a primitive? Boolean B. Boolean. It is B. So what happened? Any variable created with primitive data type, any variable created with primitive data type is a primitive variable. Any variable created with a non-primitive data type is a reference variable. Then what is the difference between primitive variable and reference variable? Conceptually okay. Data type is primitive, variable is primitive. Data type is non-primitive, variable is reference. But what is the difference functionally? Primitive variables will hold values. Reference variables will refer to location. Now look at the point. If I have Satish, the memory is at some 400. When I say string name, they hold the value. When I say reference variable, it is referring to 400. Name is referring to Satish. Are you getting? So when I say non-primitive, reference will refer to the location. In that location, data will be there. I am referring to the location where data is available. Reference variable will refer to location where the values are there. Primitive will refer to data. Primitive will refer to data. Name, Satish. Age, 34. Salary, 5,000. City, Hyderabad. It is referring to what? Values. Reference variables are referring to location where my values are there. Reference will refer to location where my values are there. Primitive will refer to values. I hope you are clear with this. Primitive will refer to values. Okay. Now let's enter the context. I hope you got the basic idea. Right. Now if you understand this, 30% of coding will be easy. First, the basic thumb rule. Reference variable, primitive variable. The next, I have a class. Yes, sir. This is my class. This is my class. It is a student template. Class with the variables, with a constructor, with a method. Class with a variable, with a constructor, with a method. Now, which student is this? This is the template. When I say template, I am giving here. When I say new, new is a keyword which will allocate memory for the class. Memory for the class. In the class, what are the variables we have? Name. If you don't assign any value, by default there would be. New will allocate the memory for data members. I told you, new student. New student, one new student I am creating. Now, name, null, age, null. Once a new is completed, what I am going to call? Constructor. Once a new created an object, immediately what is happening? Constructor is called. What constructor is saying? Name equal to Ravi. Constructor is saying name equal to Ravi. If I don't use constructor, value of name is null, value of age is null. But when I call a constructor, what it is doing? It is setting the value as so new student is created and the name is Ravi, age is 40. Now it is what? One student for the class. Class is student. With the help of class, we are creating one student. It is called object. It is called object. Object is a instance of class. Using the class, we are creating one particular student. Using the class, we are creating one particular student, which is called object. Which is called object. Now, if you want to refer to this object, how will you refer? Do you know where the memory is allocated? You will create a memory, but where is that memory? If you want to refer to that memory, how will you refer? New is created a memory, very good. But once the new created a memory, okay, data is assigned, where is that memory? If you want to refer to that memory, how will you refer? Are you clear? That's the reason we are creating a reference variable. What is that reference variable doing? It is referring to the location which is created by the new. Whatever the memory allocated by the new, that is referred by this reference variable std. Now that std is what? Primitive or reference? It is a reference that will refer to location. Which location? That was created by new. Whatever the location that new is creating, that is referred by std. Now, with the help of std, I can refer to this data. In std location, refer the name. In std location, refer the age. So, whatever the memory you have created, that memory I was referring with the std. Basically, what is an object? This is an object. Object is referred with the variable called std. Because that variable is referring to the object, we generally call that std as an object. But practically, what is an object? New constructor. That is an object. The object which is created is referred using a variable, which is called reference variable. So that reference variable we are calling as object. Are you clear about this? Right. Actually, this is the object. Because this variable is referring to that object, we have a practice of calling that variable as object. I hope you are good with this. I hope you are good with this. Practically, what is this? This is an object. This is, and this is a reference variable referring to the. Right. If you are creating an object for student class, reference variable also should be for student only. If you are creating an object for example class, reference variable also should be exam. I hope you got my point. Right. Once again, I will explain it. first. This is the program, boss. This is the program. I told execute. I wrote this program. I told execute. Then what will happen? Start with line number 1. Always what will execute? LHS or RHS? Always which will run first? Left hand side or right hand side? In line number 1, when you have equal statement, right hand side will execute first. What is there on the right hand side? New. What is there on the right hand side? New. So this will create memory. This is creating memory. Memory for whom? Memory for whom? Memory for data members of the class. Who are the data members of the class? We are referring to new student. So it is referring to null. Now there is no data, only memory is allocated. After the memory is allocated, student constructor is called. What is the constructor doing? It is saying name equal to Ravi. Now did you call manually? The constructor is automatically called after allocating the memory. So when an object is created, immediately constructor will run. Right. Now after allocating the memory, running the constructor, what was the meaning? Whatever this object is created, refer this object with. Then line number 2, again new. Again new is create one more student. So whenever I encounter new object will be created. Again the same story, constructor is running. These are the starting values. If you don't want data, you can change. I created with these values. If you want, you can change later. Again line number 3, new student. Memory is allocated. Now the point is, all are 3 same location or different locations? Now there are 3 different locations. There are 3 different locations and every variable is referring to one location. std1 is referring to first location. Let us assume it's a memory location of 400, the memory location of 600, the memory location of 800. All are 3 different locations. 3 different objects are created and they are referred with std1, std2, std3. Then I gave std1 dot name equal to then what happened? std1 referring to this name equal to Prasad. Now they are the starting values. Later, as per your requirement, you can change your values. Then I told std2 dot age equal to 9. Are you getting my point? How are we referring the data in that object? Using the reference variable. So I hope you are good with this example. So whenever we encounter new object will be created, and whatever the object is created, we will refer with the reference variable. So what is a reference variable? It will refer to the object which was created by new keyword. It will refer to the object which was created by the new keyword. Any data that is there in the object, how will you refer? By using that variable. So variable name dot, that reference variable dot primitive variable. Reference variable std1 dot name, std1 dot age. When I say std1, referring to a location. In that location, name value. In that location, age value. In that location, name value. In that location, age value. I hope you're good. So new is a keyword. Constructor, it will initialize the values. Once a new object is created, constructor initialized, then it is referred by reference variable. Okay, generally we are going to call it as what? Object. Practically this is the object. Okay, because the variable is referring to that object, we always call the variable as a object. I hope you're good. I hope everyone has followed. So object is creating a new instance. You told student, new created one student. One more new, it is created one more student. One more new, one more student. That is the reason we call object is a instance of a class. With the same structure, we are creating one copy. With the same structure, we are creating one copy. So what is an object? It is an instance of a class. I hope you are good with this. People have followed?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Suma.
Hello, Satish. Yeah. So you are referring this as constructor, right?
Yes.
The right now example. But when you told the comparisons between the method and the constructors, you told that the constructor can be called once.
Exactly. Called once
So
for one object. Called once for one object. Called once means throughout the life cycle of the entire program. It's not one time. When I told constructor will be called only once at the time of creating an object. Now this is what? This is a new object. This is a new object. This is a new object. Now for the same object I am not calling. For every new object I am calling the constructor once. Constructor will be called once for every new object. Got it, Amma?
oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Now let me give the basic data here. What is an object? It is a instance of a class. Syntax. So what was that? New. New is a keyword which will create instance of a class. Constructor. Once the object is created, constructor will be called. Once the object is created, constructor will be called automatically. This is used to initialize the data. Then we have this data type of the reference. This should be exactly same class. We are creating a reference variable. Reference variable. This will refer to object which was created. We call it as object variable. Right. I hope you're good with this. Then how do you refer to them? Public class, public. Public void show. This is how we create. Now execution is only creation of the class. If you want to execute it, student std equal to no system dot. If you want to call a method std dot show, then we are going to give system dot okay. We call std dot show. If you want to give it std dot name equal to std dot is equal to, again I am calling std dot. What I am doing, I can refer to the members of the object with the help of object only. Create an object, that reference variable dot whatever the variable that is referring to the object, that okay, object variable dot data members, std dot name, std dot age, std dot method. People have followed this. Okay. Now everything that we are going to write in the Salesforce is going to run with the help of classroom. That is the reason why we are not seeing the output for the functions what we wrote. That is the reason why we are not seeing the output for the the logics what we wrote, because anything that I write in the Salesforce should start with class. So now get back to the programming and see. You have a student. Now look at this. Integer age, string name, city. Now we have this. Now if you look at this, what are the data types of this? Private, right? If I don't define anything, what was it? If I don't define anything, it is a private. It is a private. Okay. Now let me create an object. Student std. Object is created. Now I told std dot name execute error message. Why? Private members cannot be called outside the class. Private members cannot be called outside the class. If you want to use them, use within the class only. You cannot call outside the class. When I say outside the class, you cannot create an object, you cannot call. You cannot call a variable directly. You have to create an object and call it. You cannot call private members outside the class. You cannot call the private members outside the class. So when I was trying to create an object and use, it says variable called name is not existing. Why? It is a private. You cannot call it outside. When I say public, execute, there is no issue. There is a reason why we are creating the variable as a public. Because we create an object, we want to use it. Create an object and use it. If you define them as a private, you cannot call them using an object. We cannot call the variable outside the class. Now, no variable will be called directly. We have to call it outside with the help of object. Create an object, call the variable. But the variable should be what? Public or global. If I want to use that variable outside the class, if I want to use the variable outside the class, it should be a public or global. That's the reason we generally try to take public. I hope you're good with this. I hope you're good with this. Outside the class. How will you call outside the class? How will you call outside the class? If you want to call outside the class, you have to create an object for the class, object dot variable name. If when I say variables called outside the class, create an object, object dot variable, object dot method. I hope you got my point. When I say used outside the class, create an object for the class, object dot variable 1, object dot variable 2, object dot method 1, object dot method 2. I hope you're good. So how can you call a variables or method outside the class? Create an object for the class, call it. I hope you got my point. Is that was clear? How will you call variables outside the class? Create an object, object dot variable. Okay. Now if I want to call the variables outside the class, they should be public or global. They should be public or global. Right. Now let me give the same example. Now I give here student dot then std dot show. What does it mean? Take the data from std, run the operation called show. Take the data from std, run the operation called show. Now what does show require? Name. From where that name is taken? It requires age. From where we are taking age? std. Now city, std dot name, std dot age, std dot city. When I say std dot show, take the data from std. When I say std dot show, take the data from std, run the operation. Take the data, okay, take the data from std, run the operation. Are you getting my point? Excuse. This is how we are getting the data. I hope you are good. People are good with this. Followed? Everyone has followed? Okay. Let us do some examples in creation of class and object and using it. Okay. Now let us go back to our example. Everyone has followed this? Right, Emma? Okay. Everyone is good with these examples? Let us do some basic examples. Create a now create a Apex class. Which will collect the data of CSE students of CSE. The data what you have to collect is name, age, branch. With a object for the class, same. Now do this example, everyone. Then what is the data which is common for both the objects? Branch is CSC for both the students, college name is CBD for both the students. Name and age is not same. So whatever the data that is common for all the objects, that I am going to put in the constructor. First create a class, everyone. Public class. What are the variables you have to take? Public. Now take a constructor. Now name and age are not the same, because for every object name and age are not same. If I give it in the constructor, for every object the same data will come. Name and age is not same for everyone. So I had void this is how I created. Then how will you execute? Execute. std1 dot name std1 dot. Then when I call this is the first student. What is the next student we had? Right, boss? So we are going to get the output. When you run std1 dot show, this is how we have created. People are good with this example? Right, Amma? So constructor is called automatically. Method we are calling std2 dot show. How many times I can call the method? Number of times. std2 dot show. Every object is independent, Amma. I can call the method number of times. Only when you call the method will run, whereas the constructor will automatically run when you create a object. I hope you are good with this example. People are good with this example, right? Let us go to the next one. Anyone has any difficulty in writing this code? I hope I am good with this. Right, boss? Anyone has any difficulty? So let us go to the next example.
At the
See,
last
nothing in the
90.
FX programming. There is nothing in the FX programming which is case sensitive. Not only today concept, tomorrow concept. Throughout the course, what I give, it is not case sensitive. Okay.
Hi Satish.
Yeah.
In the 99 row, you wrote like std2 dot show, right? Then what will be the output for that row?
Again, the same output will repeat.
The same thing, right?
When you call show again,
But the
what
second,
happened?
okay.
Because I called it. Why did you call? You have a requirement to call it, you have called it. So it's not a standard format of calling, right? I'm happy to display it.
Yeah.
You want to display this multiple number of times, I have given it. Okay. So just to tell the point that function can be called number of times, I have given it. If you can Given 3 times, output will come 3 times.
Okay, thank you.
Now, let us get into the next example. Create a Apex class which will collect Pro complete. Now do this example. taking calculate method is taking experience as input parameter and performing the operation. Then how do you execute this? Then execution. We have employee, I told employee assign the name. Now I told more. Then I told employee dot calculate. So I was giving experience as 8 years. When you say calculate 8, they are taking experience as 8. Now experience is above 5 years, salary equal to 50,000. Then they are calling. Similarly, I have one more. This is how we are doing. I hope you are good with this. Creating a class with a constructor with a methods. Class with a constructor with a method.
Sir, I have one doubt.
It's a void, right? Here I have taken integer because I have taken a parameter. What type of parameter was that? Integer experience. What type of parameter? If I feel like taking 4 or 5, I take an integer. If you feel like taking 3.5, 4.5, take decimal. I am not returning any value. I am only performing the calculation. Now you are doing a calculation, setting the value to salary. I am not returning any value to you. Whoever is calling, I am not returning any value. I am only calculating. I am calculating the value, setting the value to salary. I am not giving the salary value to you. But yes, I'm online. What is your query?
So you are putting integer experience in the parameter, like in the brackets. When we do that, so we don't have to declare it like in the top near decimal salary.
This is a local variable.
String employee.
This is a local variable.
Okay.
Now this says, give me input called experience. I'll calculate the value. Now that is required only for the calculate. Now this becomes what? Local to the calculate. This becomes a local to calculate. If I give this value here, then if I give this value here, then the way I write the code is different. If it is here, then how should I give it? EMP dot
employee dot experience. Okay.
Now this is not the class data. It is available for only. This data is available for only the method. Only for the method you want.
Okay.
Now,
thank you.
okay. Let's continue with the next one. Okay. So people are done with this. People have followed this example, right? Now, all the constructors I have taken is a non-parameterized constructor. Whatever the constructors I have taken is a non-parameterized constructor. Now, if I want to pass the parameter, now everybody want to take their own starting values. Right now, we are giving our own starting values. Now, for everyone, what is the company name? Wipro. Branch Mindtree. Now, for E1, for E or EMP, for both of them, company name, starting value of company name is Wipro only. Now, I don't want to have the same common values. I want to have a different common values. Now, I want to say, now boss, create EMP with the name Satish. Create EMP2 with the name called Ravi. So I am only telling at the time of creating the object itself, I am telling take the initial value of name as Satish. Then how it is possible? We want to assign our own initial values. We don't want to take a common initial values for all the objects. Every object want to have its own independent initial values. Right now what is happening? For student 1, student 2, student 3, starting values are same. I don't want to have the same starting values for all the 3 objects. Every object want to assign its own initial values. Object 1 want to take its own starting value. Object 2 want to take its own starting value. When the objects want to take its own independent values, then we will go for constructor with parameters. Let me give you an example here. You understand? Let me give you an example. Public string. If you start discussion, next topic also will not follow. Right. Now we had product info. Now, constructor with parameters. So what I'm doing, whatever the name you are giving, I'm giving as, I can take here. So whatever the name you are passing, that name you want to assign to product name equal to name. Whatever the value of the name you are giving here, that value I want to assign here. Whatever the value of the price you are giving here, I want to assign here. Now, I am not taking my own initial values. I am not taking my own initial values. I was taking the initial values what you are giving. Whatever the values you are giving, the same values I am taking as initial values. Previously, I used to take common data for every object. Even now, I will try to give it quantity. Now, look at the point. Public void debug quantity. We have this. Now, when I have this class, for every object quantity is what? 10. When you want some starting value to be common for every object, we give it straight away, quantity equal to 10. For every object, quantity is 10, starting value. But whereas the product name will change from object to object. Now, product price will change from object to object. Now, let me execute this program. Even equal to this one. Then I told this is how I do. Now in this case, now what is that P1? Look at the point. System.debug. P1 name. P1 price. P1 dot The same story I'm creating here. P2 name, P2 price, P2 quantity. Then execute. When I execute, so we got P1 name is phone, P2 name is iPad. P1 price is 40,000, P2 price is 80,000. So whatever the values we are passing in the constructor, same values are assigned to the data members. Whereas the quantity is considered, both the quantities are 10. You want to have same common value for every object. For P1 also, starting quantity is 10. P2 also, starting quantity is 10. No, I want to have a different quantity for P1, different quantity for P2. Then what I will do? In the constructor, I have to take it. If I give like this, when I create a P1, P2, P3, P4, for every object, starting value of quantity is 10 only. But in this case, product name, what is product name? Whatever the name I am giving, that is the starting value. Whatever the price I am giving, that is the starting value. So every object want to take their own starting values. Now, everyone want to take their own starting values, then they go with constructor with parameters. When everybody want to have same starting values, for every object, initial values are same, then no need of parameter, straight away we give company name, Wipro, branch, Mindtree. Are you getting my point? When you want the same starting values for every object, we go with the constructor without parameters. When every object want to take its own initial values, then we ask, what are your initial values? We pass them like a parameter in the constructor. Constructor with a parameter. If every object want to take its own initial values, we go with constructor with parameters. If every object want to take its own initial values, constructor with parameters. Constructor with parameters. I hope you are good. Clear? Everyone is clear with this? Everyone is clear with this?
Hello, Satish.
Yes, Amma.
So here, why we are using two methods, we can all initialize in one constructor, right?
You're taking only one constructor, no?
Yeah,
What we are
constructor and a method.
You are taking, right?
So instead, we can do it all in one constructor, right?
We done it only one constructor, no? How many constructors I wrote here?
I mean, sorry. So without using that method calculate, we can
See,
do all
the
this in one
calculation should be
constructor. Right?
done for me when I call it. I don't want it to be automatically set. I don't want it to be set automatically. The constructor should be called only when I call it. Okay. Only when I call it, it should run. Now, it should not run by itself. It should not run by itself. It should call, only it should call when I'm running it. I want that to run only when I run it. Right, Amma?
So yeah, even we can do that with the method, right? The method with parameters.
Pardon me? See, I'm giving here analysis. Now, when you give it as a method, this should be called. Now, whether I calculate or not is my choice. But initial value should be set.
Yes.
Whether I call or not, initial value should be set. Now, if you define everything in a method, now the initial name of the product name and price name also not set. Now, what I'm saying, calculation of total is my choice. But the name and price should be set first. Now, how will you set the name and price? Chalo, you check with the method. But method, if you have to call it, no. If I give the same in the method, it will not run by default. It will not run by default. You have to call it. I am saying I will not call the method. I will call the method only when I need. Okay. But the data of the price and product should be kept initially. The initial value should be this. Whether I calculate or not is my choice. When I initialize it in the constructor, automatically starting values are set. Okay. Once the values are set, whether I use or not is my choice. I told first set the starting values. Set the starting values. Whether I use it or not is my choice. If you define in the method, no initial values are set. Only when you call the method, values will be set. Now I am saying, don't set the values when I call. You set the values first. Only total I will calculate or not is my choice. Are you getting? If you define a method, you have to call it. Now, everybody will not call the method. Why should I call the method? I don't want to call a method. I just want to print the data. Are you getting my point? So, constructor, if you initialize, before starting the operation, data will be set. When you want some data to be set before starting the logic, we go for a constructor. You want to set the data when you call the logic, then go for a method. Now you take a call, you decide whether you want the data to be set when you call it or you want the data to be set automatically. Both are not same, right? Both are not same. When you want the data to be set automatically or you want the data to be set when you call it. You take a call what you want. According to that, you decide whether a constructor or a method. I hope you got my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Any other queries from your end?
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other queries from your end? Right. So that's all from my end for the day.